Hello and welcome back to another episode of Foundation, where we are looking over the progress we have made on this castle. We are going to be building out a bit more today, in addition to employing a royal courtier, and continuing to work our way through the progression unlocks on the kingdom pathway. I've got the game paused here because we have just had a notification of a mission success. So we got 4 out of 5 little trophies here. It looks like we have 1 person wounded and no losses, and we got quite a big bounty of kingdom influence, so I feel like we should go and spend that in the progression menu ASAP before it worms its way back down to 50. And I'm going to partly spend that on some of the decorative unlocks in this first instance, just so now, as we're building the castle out, we can start making different parts of it a bit more interesting. Currently, all the courtyards are a little bit samey in appearance, and it would be nice to spice it up a bit. So we'll go ahead and get this Castle Splendor package. We'll also go ahead and buy Castle Rustic Architecture. And I can't actually see what this one is called because the list is so long, but it kind of seems like it's decorative stuff. Maybe it's Modest Castle Architecture? I don't know how I'm meant to be able to see the top of that list, but we're going to go for it. And I think the last thing I want to get with our bounty of kingdom influence is this command post. And that increases company size by 5, so yeah, we'll be able to have slightly bigger companies from now on. And I think that's it for the unlocks at the beginning of this episode. And that's had a good effect on happiness, which is lucky. We are needing it a bit as there's a few different shortages going on at the moment. And let's take a look at our armies in here. This person is wounded. This person has less than 30% happiness. And none of these guys have a weapon yet. We've unlocked quite a few different missions that we could go on. All of these 3 are new. But unfortunately, we don't seem to have the required military grade. So let's keep building them up, perhaps with another skirmish season. I'll just let them get their happiness up a little bit before we send them out once more. And so let's go ahead and get this royal courtier in place. Looks like we can either increase combatant training speed or have happiness less impacted. Happiness does seem to be a bit of a problem for us sometimes, so I'm tempted to go for that. So next up, I'm going to go and build a command post for each of my encampments, which is this little red tent down here. There we go, and once those are built, we should be able to expand our company sizes. And this sword company are looking pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and send them off on what I think is their first mission to do this strategic patrol. And we'll send Castle Company 1 off on this skirmish season again. We've unlocked a couple of new training dummies, so I am going to go ahead and put them down over here as well. There we go, I've done a bit more decorating around these camps and added in the extra training facilities. Castle Company 1 is back from a mission with 27 loaves, very good. And currently 2 of them are wounded and need rest. Castle Company 1 is back again with 23 loaves of bread. And we've nearly cleared out this whole space to continue expanding our dairy farms. Let's go ahead and purchase 1 more tile. And paint out our woodcutting area again. And we can move our woodcutters over. And now we can build a couple of dairy farms over here. And with these 4 new dairy farms over here, we probably also want to make another cheese maker. So Castle Company 1 do seem to have taken a pretty big beating on this round. And Sword Company 1 have also taken a fairly big beating. Might use a little bit of our influence to welcome 5 militiamen to our castle as well, who we will then be able to put into the companies. And we're also ready to build out these dairy farms, which is good. There we go, that's all drawn out now. And our 5 militiamen have just arrived, so we can go and employ them in one of our companies. I'm going to see what happens if I add a few people to our Spear Company 1. Oh, and Castle Company 1 is back, and they brought 30 pieces of bread. 3 out of 10 success, not the worst. And I think 4 are wounded. None are lost, which I guess means just the one guy is okay. Okay, and our other mission is also back with a wound toll of 4 and again a lost toll of 0. And I think I'm going to need to expand out these barracks a bit if we're to be adding combatants, because right now we're already at 25 out of 28 capacity. There we go, that should increase our capacity, to 48 once it's built, which is very good. Okay, we can now add 5 more militiamen to our Castle Company 1, which is our mightiest, so I'm hoping this is going to make them even mightier. So I've just built an extra little tax office down here because I was noticing that we weren't collecting the windmill taxes very efficiently. They seem to be stacking up. So I'm going to go ahead and build this, and hopefully that makes our tax collection a little bit more efficient. I'm having to wait a little bit to send our companies back out on missions because their happiness is so low, which is sort of just because everyone's happiness is so low, mostly because of refined food as ever, and also rustic food, even though I keep building extra fishing piers, so I'm not 100% sure why that's happening. And our people aren't totally ready for their next mission, but I think I'm going to go ahead and send them anyway because their moods aren't probably going to improve while they're here. So I will employ this Castle Company 1 off on skirmish season again. I'm going to send these spearmen off on this Beast Be Gone quest for rustic food. And I'm going to send these swordsmen off on a strategic patrol. And the bow company can stay here and train for now. Okay, and the final thing I'm going to do this episode is to decorate up this castle a bit with some of the new items that we have unlocked and see if we can get our kingdom splendor up over 150, which will then allow us on the progression panel, if I can click on the right thing, to unlock this 4th tier. And I think I'm going to leave this little extension like this for now. I quite like the idea of doing something like this on all sides of the castle. We're sort of going to build these 4 courtyards out as we unlock different buildings, and then we could have these little extra fortifications kind of popping out where they fit, and I think that would look really good. So we're going to go ahead and build all of that. And just as our new extension is being built, we have made it up to Kingdom Tier 4 on the progression panel. So there's a whole bunch of new stuff we can unlock now. Different weapons, a mess hall, healing house, private quarters, and Tier 4 Kingdom Privilege. I will be unlocking some of these new build items in the next episode, but for now I definitely want to go ahead and get this privilege and come over to our edicts to enact it. So normally when I'm looking at these, I am looking for kind of financial incentives because our coin balance never seems to be that steady. But this economic alliance trade price bonus of 10%, I'm just not sure that's quite good enough. Inherited land, for every 5 territories you purchase, you get 1 for free. I mean, you still have to pay the upkeep, and territory's only 100 coins, so I don't know how beneficial that is. But although I don't have any knights yet, this last one means that if a knight dies during a military mission, a new one emigrates to your village. And I think that could be quite beneficial. I mean, if we decide it's not beneficial, we can always just pay a bit of influence to withdraw it and then enact a new one. Oh, and we had a mission success with 7 wounded and 1 loss. So yeah, I guess that's a success. And another mission success with 3 wounded, slightly less successful on that one. And a 3rd mission success with 2 wounded and no losses. So I will replace a few of the guards that have gone off and allow them to rest here and recuperate. And Bow Company 1 are fully trained up, so the last thing I'm going to do is send them out on a mission. And we might as well send them out to go and get some rustic food. Okay, and now that our castle extension is built out, I will leave this episode here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll join us in the next one where we'll be building this castle out even more and trying to progress our armies more as well. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.